call the meeting of the Essex Junction City Council to order for Wednesday, June 24th. First item is any agenda additions or changes. Regina?
Brian is raising his hand.
Okay. Do you have any? I'll call.
Oh, sorry. No, I do not.
Brian?
My first question was there going to be a video of the room? And there is on Town Meeting TV, but not the City of Essex Junction. But that came on while my hand was up.
All right.
Hi, Brian.
No agenda additions or changes?
No, I don't have anything.
Brian, no? Okay. All right. No need to approve the agenda, so we'll move on to public to be heard. If anyone would like to be heard, Steve, come on up.
Hello, I am Stephen Willie Padnos. Due to various issues in my neighborhood, I've been very keen on a House and a Senate bill that were recently passed. And I think that there's concern that the city and probably the Vermont League of Cities and Towns should take up. Not relevant to my situation, but one of the provisions of H 941 is that municipalities are no longer allowed to regulate plants, except cannabis and hemp. But so 4413, basically anything that says you can't do this with a plant is probably no longer valid as of July. And that includes rules about visibility triangles, rights of way, what you do around a fire hydrant, and maybe other things that I haven't found. There's other stuff in there too that may be of other concern, but the fact that they passed a bill that pretty much says, yeah, you know, those safety rules, we don't care about them because we're angry about some farming stuff. You know, I think that's enough of a concern that it should be looked into. Obviously, I'm not a lawyer. You guys have one? Use that. See what happens in July, because sometimes the wording changes a little bit, but yeah, it's definitely a concern.
Appreciate that. We'll look into it.
Thank you. That was all.
Thanks.
Dave.
Thanks.
Sure.
Anybody else? Nobody in the room? Checking online. Not seeing anyone online. Oh, but Risa, sorry. Let's get back that way.
Thank you. Just a quick comment that I really appreciate that the top of the agenda said that it had been edited since it was first posted. I always look and see if anything has changed, but having it right there is just a really great touch. So thank you for that.
All right. We will move on to agenda item 5A, which is a number of appointments to Brunel Library Trustees, Development Review Board. We have PCAB, which is Police Community Advisory Board on there, but we don't have any applicants, and the Recreation Advisory Committee. We had a whole, I hate mics, by the way. We had a whole group of people here 2 weeks ago applying for committee positions. So to keep it consistent, I'm going to give you guys the same message that I gave to them and prompts to start with. I'll start with saying we do have an executive session scheduled for the end of this meeting, and so we do expect that we're going to go into executive session, come out, and have some appointments, and so you'll be contacted by staff. What we did at the last meeting was we all have your applications in the packet. So if you can tell us something that's not on the application that you want us to know that you think would be helpful for us to know. And if you're not chosen for this particular committee, if there's any other committees that you might be interested in sitting on. And understanding that we did do a lot of appointments at the last meeting, it doesn't mean that folks won't leave those committees, and so there might be vacancies in the future. And in particular, as I mentioned, we are still looking to fill the Police Community Advisory Board. So if that is one that you're interested in, we definitely want to hear that. So with that being said, I will start at the top of the list, which is we're going to do Brownell Library Trustees. So Corey, you're up first. And if you want to just state your name before you start, and then you can take it away with the 2 prompts that I gave you.
Okay, sounds great. Yeah, I had a whole spiel, but I guess you raise a good point. What's not in my application?
It's okay if you overlap a little.
Okay.
Yeah, totally fine.
Sounds great. My name is Corey Riemensberger. I'm applying for the trustee position. First of all, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. What's probably not in my packet is that I am relatively new to Essex and to Essex Junction. Moved here about 8 months ago with the job that I acquired at UVM Health, Home Health and Hospice, where I am a fundraiser. So I fundraise for the McClure Miller Respite House. And before that, I don't think I spoke a lot in my application about my previous job that before I came here. I worked as a communications professional for the National Audubon Society, worked directly under the CEO of the National Audubon Society at the national level, managed a lot of clear institutional messaging and strategic planning, helped out with that. So those are probably two things that I didn't really expand upon in my application.
Appreciate that.
But my goal is simple, just to actively support Brownell, especially during the birthday, and to advance the strategic plan. And I'm happy to answer any questions about my background or history.
You want to hit the second one, which is if you are not appointed to this, any other committees?
I'm open to anything that the committee sees fit to appoint me to, because really this is about just getting more involved in my local community. The library makes the most sense for me because of my interests and my background, but I'm happy to serve wherever is necessary.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Any questions for Corey? Raj?
Have you had an opportunity to attend any of their board meetings or kind of familiarize yourself with the strategic plan that just passed?
Just from what I read online, from the research I did when I started applying for the position, I've been to the library several times. I have an overdue book. I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't know if that disqualifies me, but
I'm about to.
yeah. So I haven't had an opportunity to be a part of a board proceedings, but yeah.
You know, you could have brought your book tonight. 'Cause yeah.
I know. I drove when I was parking. I was like, I should have brought that to get it renewed. But the Odyssey is proving a lot more taxing than I thought.
Very fair.
I'm just going to go a little off topic and
Sure.
just ask you how you feel about life settling into Essex Junction.
Yeah.
Thoughts on
yeah.
the area, the community?
That's a great question. My wife is from Woodstock, so that's what brought us back here, just to Vermont in general. But we really, 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 I can't say it enough, love the hybrid kind of part of Essex Junction. So we're close enough to Burlington that we feel like there's some, urban connection there, but also we're close enough to outside of Burlington that we feel like, I don't know, it's like a 40-minute drive to Camel's Hump, which we hiked the other weekend. Yeah. That's, I think, that's what we enjoy the most about moving here. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Awesome. Bethany?
One more, sorry.
Wait a minute. Let me just double
Oh,
check.
Brian, sorry.
Brian, do you have any questions?
No, I'm good, thank you.
I guess I thought I had this formulated in my head before the meeting, but I'm curious if you could kind of talk a little bit about the role a library plays in a community. And what that means to you, how that feels for your family.
Yeah. I think before I went to college, a library was like a place that you just check out books and read books. But I think as I got to spend more time in libraries through college, through my local community, I always managed to get a library card anywhere I moved. I've moved around a lot. It's really that they do so much more than that, and that I think I put in my application, they're like cornerstones of civic engagement. And the way I see that here at Brownell is exemplary. Like, you can check out a bird watching kit at the Brownell Library. It's little things like that that I think really underline the role that libraries play in the community, that they meet the needs of citizens in terms of furthering their education and their curiosity about the world. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think that's it for questions.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate having you. Jeb, come on up.
Thank you.
He's got the shirt.
I like the first one I got, so I ordered two more.
There you go.
They're very comfortable, and the colors are great. My name is Jeb Spalding, and so since I don't know who's watching, I think I should say, just for disclosure, that I'm married to Elaine Haney, happily so, who was on
Happy to hear that.
this city council until a month or so ago. So just, and I hope that won't have an effect pro or con on what we're doing tonight. When I put in my application, I didn't put much in it, so I'm going to be brief, but I'll go a little bit more deeply. I don't know when it was, at the end of the winter, late spring, Jean Grant got in touch with me to say she was going to step off. Would I be interested in serving on the trustees? And I said, well, maybe. Is there anybody else that wants to do it? And she said, well, there's maybe somebody else. And if they put in their paper, and it turned out there was somebody else, they filed. They had been on the foundation for quite a while. And I said, no, I'm not interested. I'm not going to do that. And then recently somebody stepped off, and Karen, among other people, got in touch to say, hey, are you still interested? If you are, this would be an opportune time to put your name in the hat. So I did. If I were lucky enough to be appointed, I would intend to, if things went well, run for the seat next spring. I think that's when it would be up. I am retired. I love the library. To answer Raj's question, I think libraries, whether you're in school or preschool or seniors, they play an increasingly important sort of focal point and a place where you can get information. I don't know, and one of the things that interests me is what is going to be the impact of artificial intelligence on the role of libraries in the future. And I don't have an answer to that. I'm one of those who thinks that we are just beginning to see the impacts of artificial intelligence on every angle of our lives. And I would be interested in participating with the library trustees as we work through that. I'm not going to go into too much, but I've served on dozens of boards and I've led boards. And I think I know the difference between being a good team player on a board and being a staff or somebody at the head of it. And I wouldn't want to be just a team player board member. I have quite a background in finance and budgeting, as the people on the council know, so I understand that part. I did have a little chance to talk with Karen about the fact that they've gone through some governance updates and so forth, and a strategic plan, and so it's moving on from there, which I think is great. I don't have any ambition to sit on any other boards or committees. This is one I love libraries. I do like the Brownell. I lived in Montpelier for 35 or 40 years, and the Kellogg Hubbard is a special place. I'm sure you've all visited. If you haven't, you should. And I actually like the Essex Free and the Burnham and the Dorothy Alling, and I love libraries. And I think the Brownell is a great place. And if I can be helpful, I'd love to do it.
Thank you, Jeb. Questions?
Can you answer my question?
Okay. Brian, any questions for Jeb?
Oh, I'm good.
Nothing. You're off the hook.
Okay, thank you. I think I'm going to not sit around if that's
You told
if that's a problem.
finally.
Okay.
I mean,
Jeb, do you have any overdue library books?
Well, I have to say, I'm not reading the Odyssey right now.
Office right now.
I'm reading the second in a series of David Baldacci books. I occasionally get a serious one. I actually have a couple of books out by Garrett Kaiser, who was a teacher up in the Northeast Kingdom, who wrote some interesting books about what it's like to be a teacher in rural Vermont. And he wrote one back in the late 80s when I was getting a master's degree at that point, and then he wrote an update in, I think, of 2014 about what's changed. And I think he's going to be coming into town and speaking at the Phoenix pretty soon. I thought I ought to reread those. So I sometimes read serious stuff, but at this point in life, David Baldacci's pretty good,
there
too.
you go. There
So
you
you'll be leading the book club for us.
Thanks, Jeb.
Thanks,
Jeb.
Jeb. All right, I believe, so Susan interviewed with the last one. I think all of the DRB stuff, people have already interviewed, so it's just, we're moving on to rec.
Correct.
And Susie McGovern. I believe Susie is online. Yep. Hey, Susie.
Hey everyone, can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay, awesome.
About the two questions.
Yes, I did. So do I need to state my address or anything for the record? Okay, okay. Um, so yeah, I cannot remember everything I put in my application, but I will just expand a little bit. So I'm applying for the Recreation Advisory Committee, and this would be the first committee or board that I've ever sat on. I currently I'm a full-time remote employee for a nonprofit environmental organization based in the state of Indiana. I'm relatively new to Vermont. I moved here in 2024, and I've lived in the rural area of Leicester. I lived in Middlebury, and most recently, I just moved to Essex Junction. Been about a month that I've been here. So I'm looking forward to getting involved in the local community, especially with like impacting the parks and the natural spaces and things like that. Because as you can imagine, it's a little hard to get connected with a completely virtual full-time role. So yeah, I appreciate your consideration and open for questions.
Any other interest in other committees if not chosen for this committee?
Yeah, I would say I'm definitely really interested in this committee, but throughout my role in at my environmental organization, I have experience reviewing rezoning proposals and things like that. So I would be open to the Development Advisory Committee. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, but I would be open to
You
that.
mean?
Okay, great. Perfect.
Can I just ask you your first impressions of Essex Junction?
Yeah.
Having been here for a month now?
Yeah, I mean, I love it. So coming from Middlebury, like my biggest takeaway is it's nice having more food options. Like everything in Middlebury closed at like 2 p.m. There's still a few places that are closed Monday. I think it's Sunday and Monday. There's a lot of places closed here, but I love having all the food options, and the amount of natural spaces, despite being like so close to Burlington, is amazing. So all positive things.
Thank
I
you.
hear that. Bethany?
Welcome.
Welcome to Essex Junction. I don't think I have any questions.
No, no.
Brian?
Thank you for volunteering.
Yeah, thank you for volunteering, Susie. You said in your application from walking on some cross-country trails that talking about the ones beyond out and bond, I take.
Yeah, yep. I think it's the local high school here. It's their cross-country trail, which is amazing. Then it's just right behind our apartment. So yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, no, I love how you pulled in its environmental impact too. It's recreation impact as well. So
Yeah.
cool, nice. Thank you.
Anything else?
Everything.
Thanks, Susie. Appreciate it. And you can feel free to stick around for the rest of the meeting. It's always fun and exciting, or you can go enjoy the sun.
Yeah.
I
I
will
might
not hold it
hop
against
off.
you.
It's been a long day, but thank
Totally
you.
hear that.
Thank you again.
We know that one.
Your evening.
Have a good one.
too.
All
Take
right.
care.
I just want to say one thing. I think we're done with these, right?
We are done with these.
I'm just blown away the last year, 2 years really, and this round, how many people are coming forward.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
we've always kind of been able to find people. The amount of new arrivals that are just itching to get
Yeah.
engaged.
Very
is
much
just
so.
kind of-
Dive right
It's
in.
pretty
Great.
wild.
Very encouraging.
Yeah, love it. I know it sounds a little, yeah, whatever.
Yes, no, but it
It blows me away.
it does and it doesn't though, right? Like, what a time to be alive.
Yes. Moving on.
Now you made it weird.
All right. 5B, conversation with CHIPS Executive Director, Amy Boudreau. Come on up. You're the next contestant.
I was getting some documents, going through some last week, so I wasn't able to put this in the packet, but if you would
No
like to
worries.
see that there's a little handout I have. Okay.
Take it away whenever you're ready.
All right. Well, thank you. I'm Amy Boudreau. I'm the Executive Director of Essex CHIPS, for those of you that haven't met yet. I want to thank you for having me come and present tonight. I'm excited to share our progress with the programming that we've had this year. As many of you know, and also thank you, we can't thank you enough for the space. It's amazing, and the kids are just enjoying the space up there, and we're enjoying connecting with them. So, as many of you know, CHIPS reopened in January, and our focus has been strongly on rebuilding programs and strengthening relationships and creating opportunities for youth and families. I created that infographic from just the past 6 months of what we've been able to accomplish, just highlights of the programs that we have. So far since opening, we have engaged approximately 85 youth from the area, and that is mostly during our teen and tween center programs, but it also is inclusive of extra additional programs that we're offering on Friday nights, and also a few outreach events that we've done, which I'll talk about a little bit later. We've held more than 80 program days and engagement opportunities for students, and led special events, leadership opportunities, volunteer activities, and outreach efforts. We have probably on our program days anywhere, it kind of depends on what's going on, what season it is, and what's going on after school, but anywhere between 12 and 26 kids usually that are coming to our regular programming events, and then it just opens for drop-in. It could be, sometimes it's, a handful, and sometimes we have 30 that come in for the drop-in event programs. Let's see. One of the most encouraging things that I've seen, I'm new to this position, I just started in October, and we reopened in January, like I said before, and just seeing the youth come back week after week and then bringing their friends has been just really special, and being able to connect with them and learn who they are as individuals and how they fit into the community. We're seeing youth build friendships and seek out staff when they need support and take ownership of the space. One thing that CHIPS is really believes strongly in is youth voice and giving them power over some decisions in the space, so strongly that it's actually in our bylaws that youth are part of our board of directors. I'm not sure how many people are aware of that, but we have anywhere between 33 and 49% of our board of directors are comprised of youth, and that is students in grades 9 through 12, and they're full voting members. So we just voted on a budget last night that they approved. So they have all the rights as the adult members do, including one of our youth board members is a co-chair as well. So they share responsibility in that regard. We just launched a youth advisory board. So we have 4 students that are currently participating in that, and those are students that are actually actively involved as participants in the program. And we had our first meeting last week, and they gave us feedback on what they would like to see different, even the layout of the space, and we've already made changes. So it looks great. I was like, this is such a better idea than I had. So, it looks fantastic up there. I know they're going to love it when they come back in, hopefully actually we're going on a field trip tomorrow, so some of them will see the space tomorrow. And our goal, for CHIPS is not to just provide programs for youth, but to provide programs that their voices lead and that they want to see happening. We gather feedback through surveys and conversations so youth can help shape the future of CHIPS as well. And we just did a survey, which some of the results are listed on that handout that I shared. 96% of the participants who filled out the survey reported that staff care about youth. 96% reported that staff are positive role models. 92% reported that staff are helpful. 91% reported feeling included at CHIPS. And while the numbers are encouraging, what's not on the infographic are the comments that they put on their surveys. So one of them wrote, you guys do a good job. And then one of them wrote that they love coming to CHIPS and that they'll miss us over the summer if they're not able to come to our programs, but they'll be back next year. And then my favorite came from one participant who just wrote at the very end, epic place, FR, which is for real. Comments like these tell us that we're creating a space where people feel welcomed, supported, and valued. And supportive adults, positive peer relationships, and a sense of belonging are some of the strongest protective factors that we can provide for young people. Much of CHIPS work is prevention focused. We're not just a place for kids to hang out after school. That is what we do oftentimes, but it's very intentional. And prevention work is difficult to see sometimes because it looks hidden. It looks like it never happens. And what that means is we build support systems and connection before our youth reach a crisis point. So it just never happens to begin with. That work is through supportive adult relationships, positive peer connections, like I stated, leadership opportunities, community engagement, and just a sense of belonging and a connectedness to the community as a whole. We have been expanding our outreach and programs. CHIPS had to closed down for a little while last year, starting in April, and so we kind of went on a hiatus, and we're just kind of rebuilding at this point. So one thing that we're doing to really try to engage students is to connect with the local schools. So we've connected with the Student Assistance Program Coordinator at Essex High School, and we're prepared to do some tours and some orientations for the students next year that might not have visited our space before. And we also established a referral system with the ARC program at Essex Westford School District. Some of those students really could use a structured environment to foster positive peer connection and adult connections with students. And we've seen some of those kiddos be coming back week after week, and what a change in like just their demeanor from being able to connect in that way. Some of the events that we've had for community connections, we participated in the Essex Westford School District Multicultural Fair, which was so fun. I don't know if anybody went, but that was amazing. It was my first time going, and I'm definitely going back next year. We participated in Essex Pride. We had a table there, and we were engaging with the community members that attended that event. We just hosted on Friday a Juneteenth celebration. About, like, I think it was somewhere between 13 and 15 participants attended, and Tina Logan, former ADL teacher, who opened up Maple Street Art Space, came and did a African wire art project with the students, and we ordered food from Kismayo Kitchen, which if you haven't been, highly recommend. They're amazing. Kids loved it too. So just those are the types of events that we're hosting, and we're trying to engage with the youth to understand what's going on in their community. One other thing that we're focused on is really supporting families, and so we just started a new initiative, which is CHIPS Community Cupboard. It's a small student food shelf, but it also is I don't know if you know, I have a background in food insecurity, so like I used to, like I helped with I'm on the board at Ontats, and I worked for the food bank before, so I'm really strongly tied in and believe that everybody has a right to food. So in a non-stigmatizing way, we've opened up that pantry for anybody who wants it. We're not really advertising it as a pantry to students so that they feel comfortable taking whatever they need. It provides food, snacks, light meals, hygiene products, personal care products, and some school supplies if they need it. We also have sent referrals out to the school systems to let them know it does exist if there's families that could use additional support that want to come outside of the programming time and not have their students access it, but to have them access it as well. They're able to do that, and I plan on connecting with some of the health organizations like the pediatrician's office in the coming weeks. It just opened like last month, so it's brand new. And I'm hoping that we will see people utilizing that service. We also, CHIPS has a connection with UVM, public health students, and this year also CCV. So we provide workforce opportunities and development for college interns. We had 3 from UVM from the Public Health Service Department this spring, and 1, as I stated, from CCV, who is in behavioral health. And that was very successful. The kids love the interns, and also really get to connect with young professionals that are just kind of starting their careers, which is encouraging them to see that what they're doing and how they're handling college, and do they work, and all the questions that come up with that. It's kind of amazing to see. So we're looking forward to doing that, moving forward with interns again next year. Looking forward, our summer programming is about to kick off. We're having our field trip tomorrow to Spare Time. If anybody wants to go have fun, we'll be there from 1 to 3. And we are also going to be offering programs 2 days a week, consistently on Tuesdays and Thursdays for middle and high school students, drop-in programming from 1 to 4, and starting in July, and also with a service component. So we're connecting with local organizations, connecting with Aunt Dot's place to put together recipe kits for their neighbors that are visiting that organization, as well as putting together, making those little tie fleece blankets for a local animal rescue. And also, I just found out we're connecting with the senior center, so hopefully we'll be doing some opportunities with them as well. That was my new program director's idea, which I thought was fantastic. So in closing, I just want to thank, we're proud of the work that has been accomplished in only 6 months for us, and we have a big job ahead of us in terms of growing our programs and making sure that people know that we're still here, and we want the kiddos to come and see us and spend time with us and really engage with them and have them engage with the community. Also, I just wanted to point out on that handout that I gave you, I did include a little tiny picture. It's very small, but I think I'm going to put it on Facebook. One of the projects that the kids did was to recreate a Monopoly board, and they did it with the city of Essex Junction. So there's like game. So we're gonna have like we're able to print them off. We're gonna have one at Chips, and then we're sending one home with each of the kids that participated in that. Which is they were so involved. Like they got right into it at the table, and where they had they designed it on Google Docs, I think, or maybe PowerPoint. I don't know. And then they came like the next time, and they were pretty much done. I was like, what did you do? And they're like, no, we did it at home. I was like, but then they had to make the cards. That's a whole other story. So, yeah, no, it's just a lot of fun with them. We thank you so much. We're giving them great opportunities, and we can't do it without the support of our community and the support of the city. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Yeah.
Sure. A few. For a donation, can I get a Monopoly game?
For what was that?
For a donation, can I get a Monopoly game?
Oh, maybe that's what we should do. I don't know.
for sure.
We'll have to look into that and see
Yeah.
if that's, that's a real
100
sell.
25 to $50 maybe.
100%.
I don't know if I'd have to check into like copyright laws and stuff, but
You can call it something quite close, anyway.
Call it monoply.
Junctionopoly. It sounds amazing. I'm glad you guys are back.
Thank you.
The programming sounds stronger than ever. All of this is great. I'm curious what you're seeing after 6 months of challenges that our youth in our community are facing. Where are the gaps?
Yep.
Like what's still not being met?
The challenges, I mean, I think mental health is still a challenge, especially coming off of COVID. The students, they're used to being behind their screens and connecting in that way. So connecting in a space face to face and having to, learn how to play a game with each other and follow the rules and be able to regulate, if it doesn't go their way. That can be challenging at times. But again, it's so important to have a space for kids to be able to do that. And we have staff that are trained to be there and on hand if needed. Having said that, we don't see that too often in terms of, dysregulation or anything like that. But it is, it's important to be able to connect. They still want to come in and be on their phones, and they want to be on the screens. And so it's a balancing act of, it's not, nobody has to come to Essex Chips. So we want the kids to want to be able to want to come to our space. So it's definitely a balancing between the screen time and the active time. And we do that in a variety of ways. We do allow some free time at the beginning when they just come in and have a snack. They can have their phone. But then we always offer structured like a structured activity. It could be a physical game that maybe it's Foursquare, or it could be they love playing. There's a game that we have that's Chameleon, which is more of a kind of a fantasy type game. So we're just trying to create those intentional opportunities for them to interact face to face and in person rather than behind a screen all the time. I think is really important. Yeah, it's been challenging, to be honest. We're trying to expand our programs to reach more high school students, and that's been a little bit challenging. So we're looking at ways ways that we can offer programs for them that they might want to attend, but also like mentorship opportunities. Maybe they can come in and work with some of the younger students as well. So those are some of the challenges that we've seen over the past 6 months. Participation is increasing. There's been a couple new kids, usually, at least 1 or 2 a month that have been kind of trickling in after that initial block of kiddos that joined. So yeah, I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate that.
Brian, any questions for Amy? Bethany?
We have a couple. First, just to sort of follow up with Raj's question, where do you see the greatest opportunities for Essex Chips going forward?
Yeah. So, my vision, of course, you have to take one, it's kind of slow because it wouldn't be sustainable if you grow too quickly and do too many things at once. So I would really like to connect with, that we serve grades 4 through 12. I think there's opportunity for kids in middle through high school to really connect with the community, learn about what is available within their community that they can be a part of, as well as workforce development and looking at different career opportunities. I'm talking to like maybe do some career tours, maybe hold a career night. We have several students that are really actively involved, like very hands-on kiddos that want to work with their hands. So we're planning on trying to collaborate with a tech center and bring some programs to CHIPS that the kids want. So we're looking at trying to engage kids in that way, as well as just prevention in general. You know, we have you know, we're planning on relationship workshops so that kids understand, you know, healthy relationships as they grow older, and red flags. We're planning, we talk about prevention in terms of substance use, and, you know, vaping is still very prevalent, as well as some other substances. And so we utilize space in that way. We also are hoping to, you know, without families, it's hard. You have to have the whole picture. The child has to be supported by their community, their family, their school, kind of a wraparound. So we're looking at hosting a series of possible caregiver workshops to support parents in areas that they might need. Cybersecurity is one. I just connected actually recently with a donor who is a specialist in that space, and I'm going to be talking to them about potentially, you know, what we could offer for families and for students regarding cybersecurity, because it's scary. I mean, like, and they're sneaky. they will, like, they know kind of how to install things that people don't see. So it's part of that's developmentally appropriate for them, but we have to make sure that they're safe in doing so, and that they understand the risks of that behavior.
I think how do you, like, through what avenues do you publicize events? Like, how do you only reach kids through the schools? Are there other?
So we're actually, that's an area of growth that we're looking into right now. We actually have a grant to work with a board development specialist who's helping us on outreach and getting the word out. So we do reach out to schools. We do a lot on social media. We're starting to learn how to do reels, which I'm not, you know, but like, you know, it came together. So we did it. So we're trying to grow our Instagram audience. We're mostly on Facebook, and you know, that's not where kids are. So we're trying to grow, you know, our Instagram audience. I do post on Front Porch Forum, and we did have an article in the Essex Reporter when we first reopened, which was lovely. And yeah, that's and then word of mouth through other organizations as well. Essex CHIPS is part of the larger prevention network, and we attend those meetings as with. And network kind of with other organizations in similar, that's serving a similar demographic to us. If anybody has other suggestions, I'm totally open. And we're researching those avenues currently. We do connect with, in the past, we have connected with, and again, this has been like a regrowth since reopening, local organizations, pediatrician's office, doctor's office, and you know, Howard Center, Spectrum, like all of those other organizations as well. And we're just in a period of reestablishing those relationships.
Great, thank you.
What a breath of fresh air. I want to know how people can support your pantry. Really, is there a way that if somebody wants to drop off something, or how you go about how we as individuals would go about supporting that?
Yeah, we have. I'm going to be, since like I said, we just opened it. I'm going to be having set hours that I will publicize, and I'm certainly happy to share them with the city. That somebody will be there to collect donations, and we're looking for a place where we can have a donation collection box as well. I wanted it to be a place where students could access and have a larger pantry. We have the little free food pantry here, which is great, that the outside of Brownell, which CHIPS started, and then the Girl Scouts took over. So that is wonderful for people outside of ours. But we wanted to offer something a little bit more substantial and a touch point with somebody as well. Where, you know, if they needed some support, extra supports, we could also refer people to other organizations. But yes, reach out to me, and we can figure out a way to get donations. We are going to be requesting them in the near future. You'll see me on Facebook. I post asking. Yeah,
that's fantastic. Thank you.
We'll take in-kind donations, and we would also obviously take monetary donations too, either one. And it could be dedicated strictly for the food pantry.
Fantastic. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Amy, for coming.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Thank you.
Have a
Enjoy.
good night. All right, 5C, Communications Department Head Brief to Council. Ashley is up.
For a while.
Get
Just
comfy.
get comfy.
Yep. All right, so this is my brief to the council, basically looking at the past 6 months and looking forward to the next 6 months. So for the past 6 months, some of the things that I am really excited that we were able to accomplish is obviously the rebranding of the city. This was a long time coming, and something that I think the committee that helped with this did a fantastic job, and with working with Place Creative. They did a great job of really doing a nice logo that is modern yet has a nod to the city in its individual 5 corners. And it's just been a really great process, like I said, with the committee, and I'm excited to see it in the packet tonight and to start seeing it everywhere within the city. So we just really started launching that with the staff this past week. So that's something you'll see a lot more of in the near future. We're talking about it tonight, but we also started the community engagement plan. This was something that I had been researching for a couple years as we'd been talking about engagement with the council and also the engagement process, our projects that we are doing in the city and how we were growing that, especially with our community development department. And so having that plan together and having that framework just puts us in a good position to continue to make our engagement process better and better as we move forward. We also started just recently an orientation for all of our committees. I do a lot with our committees and their applications. And one of the things that we were looking at was like making sure that they were getting proper open meeting law training and ethics training. They all have to do the state training when they first come on, but making sure that we're having that renewed every year training for them was something that we felt that was needed for our committees. And so I have developed a orientation that I'm going through and doing training at the beginning of this July, August, September period when the committees meet and just going over that with them and answering any questions we had. We did it with Brandon Library and it went really well this month.
Good.
And then I'm really proud of the strategic plan. When I first started working on that process, I always said, I don't want a plan that just sits on the shelf. And we haven't just sat on the shelf. We've now completed 2 years of work plan development and this retreat process that we did. And I'm excited to see on paper and for everybody to see all the work that the city has been doing and will continue to do. And I'm so glad that it's also given us a real roadmap to move forward on our goals and priorities. And I feel like we're in a really good place. So I'm really proud to see that continuing, and it's not a plan that's just sitting on the shelf. So looking forward, hopefully we'll be able to approve that engagement plan and start rolling that out to staff and start moving forward on that plan. We're obviously updating the new logo. Some things that we've still yet to do is finish up the website. I'm working with our website designer to start moving that over. We're starting also to move over to a .gov domain, so that will be something that we're moving forward when we do the rebranding with the new logo on the website. ADA compliance is a big thing that's coming up. We have to be ADA compliant in 2 years on April 2028. And so that is something that we have to start planning now for because it's something that we'll have to do a lot of training with staff and making sure that we're continuing to be ADA compliant even after we've done the initial big overhaul of all of our forms and our website and everything that we have within the city. We're moving up to town meeting day, and so we are moving that work plan and budget development up. So that's something that Jess and I have started talking about, and we'll start working with the department heads on getting those items moving forward so that we can move forward with budget day and all the great things about getting the budget approved in annual meeting. And then last but not least, as all of you know, or those who don't know, my husband did accept a job in Arkansas. So my family and I are moving at the end of this month, so June 30th, and not too far away. We're moving back to Arkansas. Regina and I have come up with a transition plan to allow me to stay remote for a few months to finish out some projects and to really just do a support for the city, as there's a lot that I do in the communication world, and I'm only a department of one, so there's not a lot of people who can pick up some of the work that I'm doing. I just want to end my little brief here by saying, it's truly been a pleasure to serve all of the residents of the city and the city as a whole. I am super proud of all the work that I've done. It's only been 4 years. It feels like it's been more, but we've done a lot in those 4 years. I came on when we were just becoming a new city. And so I got to start out with that, and I've got to develop it, and it's been truly a rewarding job for me. There's a lot that I still want to do and wish that I could continue on with. But I know whoever sits in this position will take up the reins and continue on the work that I'm doing. I couldn't have done this without the support of the council, the past and present. You guys have been great in supporting all the work that I've done. We have a fantastic city manager, and I am so proud of being able to work with her and the opportunities that she's given me. We have a great staff here. They're been very supportive of me. I've had some great residents that I've had an opportunity to work with, along with different committees that I've worked with as well. And I just want to thank all the residents and the staff and you guys for all your support. And it's not goodbye. I'll still be on for a little bit longer, just remotely, but this will be my last time in person with you guys. So that is all I have about my department brief.
Thanks, Ash. Any questions, comments? She's not going anywhere. She's here for like the next 10 items.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, we'll just move on to the retreat debrief while we're all.
While it's relevant, I've really appreciated all your work. Just keep that topic separate from the other 14 that you're going to be talking about. I've definitely appreciated your work and all the effort you put in and all the success you've had, and we'll miss you a lot.
Thank you.
Yeah.
To that same point, there's been so much progress in communications, so even just since I've been back in the city, and I know that's you and Regina, and obviously you. So thank you so much. It's been a pleasure to work with you for as short a time as it has been.
Okay, sorry.
All right, now we can talk about the retreat.
Lovely retreat. All right, moving on. So what you guys have in your packet is just an overview of the retreat from the day. Just to go over a brief thing for everyone here, we started off with just the council, and we talked about some norms or agreements that you guys would want to see in your work as a council. And so in here, we have developed 6 of those agreements for you guys to look at and see if that's something that you guys all agree with, or if there's any changes or additions that we need to make to those norms. The next 2 topics that the council did was on community engagement and economic development. You guys looked at some of the things that you have done as a council for engagement, and then some of the things that you would like to see moving forward. We came up with one main goal with some focus areas underneath that. This has been incorporated into the community engagement plan. And we'll talk about it more in the community engagement plan, but a lot of what you guys were already discussing at the retreat was some of the things that were already in the plan. So there was great alignment, but I wanted to make sure that your goal was incorporated into that plan. The economic development identifies some priorities that you guys came up with for economic development and what you'd like to see in the future for that. So we have those priorities to incorporate in work plans and in any other priorities that we have moving forward. And then the second part of the day, we brought in the department heads, and we really focused on the strategic priorities for FY28. And so we went in there and we wrote down a lot of those different priorities, and then we all voted on them. And then we had some priorities that really came out during the process. There was 8 of them. 8's a big number. So Sue and I afterward kind of sat down and kind of looked to see if there was a way that we could organize these priorities into different sections and incorporate some of that discussions that we had earlier on in the day, because we didn't want to lose that economic development or that community engagement discussions that you guys had. So we broke that down into 5 different priorities, and then added those specific priorities that we discussed during the voting portion underneath them. So it kind of made it a little bit more cohesive. So that's what we're suggesting those priorities are that we move forward with for the council. You guys do have all the voting numbers to see like where the council had more priority over the staff and stuff like that as well. So really tonight, we want to look over these different areas and make sure that you guys are comfortable moving forward with these priorities and these and your norms, and if there's anything that we need to add or change on that. So that's where we're at on this.
Questions, comments, concerns? Brian, start with you.
No, I don't have anything.
Okay. Raj? I'll come back to you. Bethany? Come back to you too.
Yeah.
Tim?
Okay,
Okay, guys.
Start.
I don't have any.
Oh.
You know, we knew the meeting was going to happen.
Yeah,
These guys.
yeah, I don't know.
Do you want to start with different sections? Would that be more
No.
easier?
Don't.
I've got,
Don't let us make it more
No,
complicated.
no.
I've got more structural
Nuance, yeah.
questions
Okay.
that I'm struggling is the wrong word. I'm trying to decide if that conversation belongs here or if it belongs later. Sort of having the experience of being on the brainstorming end of how this would go, not the retreat part, work plans and all this stuff years ago, and then coming back after it's been done a couple times now. I have feedback. I am overall concerned with a couple topics, and I'm trying not to make it stuff that I'm just personally concerned about. I guess I'll leave the structural conversation and ask that we, once we get this ironed out and you feel like you've got this in a place it needs to be for the budget, that with well enough time before the next one, we have an opportunity to kind of talk about next year's retreat before it's too close to it to make any impact, if that makes sense. My overall thought on it as a process, and I'll just leave it so you have an idea of what I want to talk about, is sort of like the concept of having the entire department head staff and the city council make joint decisions around this. I sort of envision it as a city councilor in our role as to take the input and then make those decisions as to what's going to be final. I appreciate the collaboration. The input is critical and very necessary. We absolutely 100% need that. No question. I feel like our role is a little bit minimized in this process. So that's what I want to talk about. So having said that, none of the things that I'm looking at on the next page where the votes are tallied are really out of line with how the council. So I don't really think we need to get into it too much. I guess my overall question, aside from what I just said, is the rest of it, getting on the list. The list is legendary. One item that and I'm going to make it personal, I guess, one item that I brought up again and again over the course of the retreat, and I've been bringing up, this is an 8-year problem now. This concept of the parking situation on the Pearl Street Park for Warner Ave and that neighborhood. I don't think that we're willing to wait another 2 or 3 years, or for it to ever rise to the point where 10 department heads and 4 counselors are going to think about it. So those issues, where do they live on this list in the sense of, are they going to ever get addressed? Because if this is really the bandwidth we have, then I'm not sure this is working. And I don't think we need to get into a giant debate about it tonight, but I am just generally curious, like, what happens with these? I'm not asking for a commitment. I just need to know. Because in this particular case, with this particular topic, my neighbors are to the point where like, is it a petition? And I'm like, don't do the petition, please, don't do the petition. But that's kind of where we're at. So I need to be able to kind of go home and say, maybe this year? Because there was a plan from the PD 4 years ago, 4 years ago, that was kind of put on hold. So that's the kind of thing. So where do the other topics go? What is the likelihood they'll get addressed? Understanding we're limited, staff, funding, all the things, I'm well aware. So does that make sense? So, yeah.
Yeah, it makes a ton of sense, and I appreciate the feedback. I think it's, the second year we did it, we kind of felt like it worked well enough that we kind of repeated the second year, but completely expecting that as we get even more along with the process, because even the first year, we weren't really sure what we would do with the information that came out of the retreat. Everything was sort of a learning process. But I think that makes really good sense, and we can certainly have a conversation about it well enough in advance before retreat number 3 to kind of rethink that and bring some greater emphasis to the role in the council in really setting priorities.
And again, I really get that this list is massive and this isn't even exhaustive. And I don't know how we do a third of it. I'm admitting, I totally get that. And you have to have a way to pick them. So I just want to acknowledge that about it.
Yeah, I'll just say, I think the list is pretty comparable to the capital list.
Yeah.
I mean, it is incredibly difficult to look at that list, and as I think Kevin pointed out, that many years that I've been sitting on the capital committee, most of those haven't moved. You know, and there's always somebody on the other end of that's their street. And just remember that. So like,
Oh, yeah.
when you talk about Pearl Street, like that is the equivalent here. And, you know, there is only so much bandwidth and so much money and whatnot. I think, you know, I think these priorities look good. I think they aligned with what we did. And so I feel comfortable with giving these to staff and saying, go forth and
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
do your thing.
The only other thing, and I'll stop after this, is we have a lot of big themes in here, a lot of big projects.
Yep.
There's also a lot of little bitty ones that really need to be able to rise when there's some time. So, I think that's always on Regina's mind, it's always on the department head's mind. There's always trying to find efficiencies, like, oh, we're gonna be down there anyway, why don't we tackle this? I know that happens. I'm just putting a plug in there for like, let's not just focus so much on the big projects where we're all the littler, smaller things that can be done in under a week. When it's a slow week somewhere where they can't paint stripes or something, that these things can, you know, these things can rise up a little bit, that's all.
And I will say, just because, Raj, you haven't been part of the work plan development stage yet, part of this, when we start looking at this next development of the work plan, part of the department head's job is to look at that brown list and to see if there's anything on that brown list to add to their work plan. So these are the things that we want to focus on. This is where we want to put our money towards. But if there is anything else that the department heads can add to their work plan, and we've tried to add, Regina and I have tried to add fiscal years so that they are moving forward. So I will say that it's not just they're going to sit on the list and they're never going to get looked at. There is some responsibility for those department heads to look at that list and see if there's anything to add to theirs. And like I said, Regina and I do go through it and try to say, is this something we can move up on the list? And sometimes there is, and sometimes it's like, this will happen in the future. So, so I will say that it's not just something that will never get done kind of thing.
Okay.
And obviously, there are some things on the list that, I mean, some literally are marked must do,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so.
I will agree. Thanks for both of you for going first, because I do believe that there needs to be some structural change to how that happened before our third annual retreat. But I can also live with the way that things bubbled this year, so.
Yes, thank you to Raj for being far more eloquent than I could have been.
Who's ever said that?
Apparently.
As I struggle to come up with a way of saying the same thing, looking through the list, I mean, I don't think there were very few things that were prioritized heavily by the council that I'm so attached to that I can't let go of them. I'm comfortable with these priorities and agreements.
Yeah, and please, if this comes up at like a department head meeting, absolutely 100% value the opportunity to spend the day with staff and department heads, hear how it's going for them firsthand, hear what they're thinking about, hear what they're happy about, hear what they're struggling with. Tremendously valuable, don't want to lose that. So really appreciate it. It's just other little things.
Yep.
Any other questions, comments, concerns?
Just one thing I want to add, we've definitely struggled with the list being like a huge, enormous concept and also a lot of tiny little things like that. It is confusing that way and not quite sure how to tackle that. But I will say, in line of trying to sort of figure out that struggle is also the struggle as well that we kind of like, yeah, and you heard this from me at the retreat a bit where I was like clear on the amount of capacity it's going to take us on the things that we have to do. The retreat can't always be, I don't think, what are we going to do new?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we don't necessarily have capacity to do new unless we're going to resource it or really pull back on other program areas. So I think we'll continue to evolve a lot of things, how we kind of figure out what to do, but yeah, really appreciate everybody along for the ride.
And I'll just tack on with Regina. That's one of the reasons why we wanted to include the department heads, because they're the ones that knows the day-to-day that goes on in their thing. Whereas sometimes you guys are looking at a, sky-high view, where we're down in the dirt looking at the little tiny minute things that we're doing every day. So that's kind of why we wanted to make sure that happens. But I get that you guys have that initial priority, and so trying to find that balance, I think, is what we need to look at.
Good thing we have a year to figure that out.
I'm sorry, I do want to say one more thing, especially as it goes towards this, all of us recognizing that we have a very limited capacity. I think at some point a priority has to be talking about how to expand that capacity if we want to move these things forward. And I know that's not a popular conversation.
I think that's on the list.
So
Yep.
Somewhere on there.
It is.
So that'll be fun when it comes.
Absolutely. We'll let you spearhead that conversation as the newbie here. You got 3 years.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's all good. You got what you needed from us?
Yeah, I do.
Regina, good?
All good,
Okay.
thank you.
All right, let's talk engagement plan.
All right. So I put another draft in front of you guys this time. I was able to go through my comments from CCRPC's Outreach Engagement Manager, and our staff finally got that feedback from the rest of our staff. There was not as much feedback that I hadn't incorporated as I thought there was. A lot of it was more of, Ann Nelson is the Outreach and Engagement Manager there at CCRC, and it was more like, tell me how you do this, because she's also doing an engagement plan, or this is a great idea. So there was a lot of that, but there was also she did give me some good feedback or questions that I go, oh yeah, I need to think about that a little bit deeper. So we do have some changes in the engagement plan that's in red for you guys to look at. So those things have been added. Really the big thing that I want to mention is the framework, so that we broke it down into 3 sections. And really the framework is that's our guiding principle. I don't see it changing much. I see it just, that's the way that we do engagement. It might shift a little bit as we move and develop new things with engagement, but I don't see that piece changing very much. I do see the goals and action portion and the toolkit, something that the communication director is looking at yearly. It's something that we're looking, those goals and actions should be incorporated in work plans. They're reviewing those and they're adding new as that engagement plan changes. And then the toolkit, as we evolve that toolkit and get new tools, that toolkit will evolve as well. So I see that as something that will continue to change, not necessarily getting you guys to approve every year, but more something that they're using to develop their work plan and the staff is using. Really it's just that framework piece. If there was any changes to that, you guys would need to look at it again. As I mentioned in the previous conversation, you guys' engagement goal was incorporated in to the engagement plan. It's in that goals and actions section. And it, like I said, it really did align with a lot of already the goals that were in there. It was really just that first focus area, which was identifying public events and interactions with people at these events. That is very much a council goal. And so that wasn't incorporated in mine, but the other two were definitely incorporated in goal 2 and goal 3. And so at the last meeting, you guys could kind of said, is there questions that I could give you to direct this? So I did list out 4 questions, and really it is seeing if the goal from your retreat is the goal that captures what you guys want to do with engagement for the next year, or if there's any others that you guys want to incorporate into this plan. If there's any other goals that you see the staff should incorporate into this plan. Is there any, do you agree with the framework portion of it? Like I said, that's really kind of the strategy on how we're going to do engagement. And then is there anything missing, or do you feel comfortable moving forward and approving this plan as it is tonight? So that's kind of the discussion I'd like to have tonight, and answer any other questions that you might have about the changes that we incorporated into the the plan.
I'm going to start with Bethany.
The only thing I can think of that I think the council has expressed an interest in working on is like strengthening social media presence. I think that's in here, so I'm not particularly concerned with anything. I feel comfortable with the engagement plan.
Thank you.
I appreciate the edits in red.
Yes, that too.
Thank you.
Yes.
It made it a lot easier to
Because the 3 times you read
try
this
it.
past week.
I could read this thing.
Yeah.
I could read this thing 100 times and still not absorb it all.
No.
I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
And that's part me in the way. And anywho, I think I'm okay with where we're at this point with it.
I mean, the only thing I'd say is I appreciate the addition in goal 2 on page 39 of, I don't know which packet I have open right now. Anyway, establish relationships and work with local community liaisons to engage with underrepresented communities.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like this is not really a theme for me tonight, I swear. I kind of feel like there's not a lot asked of the city council in this. And I feel a little down about that, to be honest with you. That said, by our nature, I think we're supposed to be out there doing this work. We're politicians, for goodness sake. But this is supposed to be political.
I call
You know what I
myself
mean.
a reluctant politician.
Yeah, you know what I mean. But I guess I would love to, this goal is identified for staff.
Yeah.
I would like to set an expectation for council members, future and current, somehow putting that someplace where that is an actual responsibility for council as well, to go and do some of that work. I mean, I think it's kind of implied in some places. And maybe I didn't, I mean, creating tools and opportunities to engage with underrepresented communities can be hands-off. You know, look, we created this opportunity for you to go do that for us. Go do it. You know, it's not like, no, you shall, you know, participate in that in an active way.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's appropriate to put in there, but if there's a way, anyway, I would approve it as it is tonight. I'm just putting that out there that I think there's not a big ask here of city council members in this whole document, and I kind of feel like, especially after we had to change some language, that this could be a place that we could sort of push back on that a little bit and make that an expectation of the 5 of us and future counselors to go out and actually do that work of helping staff find people, and build relationships. So I don't know how, I don't really have an answer as to where it's appropriate to put in, but that's my thought.
Yeah, two parts of that. So first, like the work, the engagement, when you guys do engagement, I feel like, so for instance, when we do budget, we need to build you an engagement plan based off of our engagement process. And so whenever there's an opportunity for you guys to think about engagement, there needs to be within our staff capacity, when we're building our plan, we can also incorporate how the council is going to be a part of that, if that's something that you guys are interested in. I feel like there will be opportunities for you to help out when these things come up. So like, for instance, when we build out that network map of who the people are in our communities, you guys can help out, say, to introduce us to people in the staff that you know, those people. So I feel like there are ways, they're just not specifically laid out here that's saying you're going to do this time. Now, if you guys want that, if you want it to be a very specific goal for you guys and an action for you guys, this is more like a goal for you guys. It's not really actionable items, whereas the rest of it for the staff is actionable items. I'm happy to include those in there. I also know that you guys are busy people, and
No, that is the balancing act, right?
Yeah.
You're all paid to do this,
right.
and we're sort of,
Up for
in a sense,
election.
volunteers, willing
We are
volunteers.
too.
We're up for election every 3 years, and if we
Right,
fail,
and I mean, it's hard to keep up with Tim.
I would also like to add, I mean, I think in terms of community engagement and the expectation of community members, I think the expectation of community members is that the balance of community engagement with them would fall on us.
right.
And I'm not sure that's reflected. I would approve it as is, especially if, everyone else is comfortable with it. I'm not sure how reflected it is in the plan that I feel the community expects us to do the most engaging with them. More than, they're paid, the staff is paid to do this, and I don't want to you're developing the plans. The framework is for staff to develop those plans and tell us, this is your role. That is why I'm comfortable approving it as is. I just wanted to state that the city council should have a significant role in a lot of engagement, just because we're the
For instance,
face.
negative engagement. The concept that staff could be put in a position where they're getting aggressive negative feedback, call it. I kind of really feel like some of the Front Porch Forum themes that have been going on lately, which are perfectly understandable, I feel like it's my role to kind of take that and engage with that respectfully offline, like however I decide to do it, but I'm to sort of be the person in between and not have staff be put in a position where they're getting yelled at or they're getting verbally taken down when they're really just out there trying to kind of gather this information. So I don't know how you reflect that in this. I understand that to be my role. Could be disagreement among the 5 of us how that works and among staff how that works, but like I've always sort of felt, and from examples from past boards, like that's kind of what you do. Like if someone's got a real gripe about affordability and they want to talk to you for 30 minutes about it, that's what we should be doing. I don't know if that needs to be in here.
Yeah.
I think, I take that as an expectation. I think it's implied, I guess. I don't know if that's quite what you're talking about, Bethany, but
Yeah, no,
I think,
absolutely.
I think anybody that does this voluntarily and gets, runs for election, does all that stuff, sort of gets it. I would think.
Yeah.
Everybody I've met.
Yeah, again, I think it's kind of an expectation of
Yeah.
the position.
Yeah.
And it goes back to that, if you do it well, you might stand a chance to win re-election. And if you don't, then that's where the That's where it all answers out, that's where it all shakes out, right? So,
Yeah, I mean, I feel like not everything needs to be written down. And I also think that, again, to your point, like, not everybody feels that way. Not everyone, we all want to engage with the community, but in a different way.
Yeah.
And so we really can't capture that in a sentence, like, more than what we're just saying right here.
Yeah.
And so, there's a separate, I don't know, almost like this city council goal of, that's not written, that says this is how we operate. Our communications or our policy, whatever, communications
Yeah.
policy or whatever you want, the words
Yeah.
I'm coming to here.
Yeah, because it is a little, it feels a little bit more to me like the council's communication policy than this
Right, yeah.
Yes.
engagement plan
Yes. Yep.
for some of that. Yeah, because this plan, is really helping to set the stage on just how we are across the board doing engagement much better and consistently. Or I should say, continuing to improve and be more consistent in our engagement, and keep focused on important things like reporting back how we've used input back out to folks so they know we're listening to them, those kinds of things.
Makes sense.
Which I think is a little bit different for what you were just talking about in terms of counselor roles in communication and that kind of thing.
Yeah, this is more, okay.
Yeah.
Yep, gotcha.
Yep. Brian, did you have anything you wanted to add?
No, I think Bethany and Raj addressed my. I just want to agree with things what Bethany said about social media and then we had a long discussion about council roles. So yeah, it's all good. I have nothing new to add.
Want the motion?
I would love that motion.
I make a motion to approve the.
Actually, wait a minute.
Public comment?
I'm going to do public comment first. Any public comment? There's nobody in the room, anybody online? All right. Take it away, buddy.
I make a motion to approve the comprehensive community engagement plan.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, it's unanimous. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Ashley.
Thank you, Ashley.
Bye.
All right. Economic Development Services RFP.
Okay.
Oh, shoot,
Regina.
I forgot, I had one.
You're up. You are up.
Okay, let me get there.
There's an RFP in the packet for Economic Development
There we
Services.
go.
There you go. Take it away.
Thank you. Okay, so in the FY27 budget, we set aside $30,000 to really secure an environmental development consultant to really help us. The best way I've been describing this is to help us establish a game plan for what an economic development program would be for the city. We really haven't had one since separation from the town, haven't had a structure in place, no economic development committee, no business support programs, and we've also had other kinds of topics come up associated with our designation. We have had a village designation for a very long time. The thought was whether the Junction wanted to go to a downtown designation, which is a different kind of program and requires more of a Main Street Alliance kind of separate nonprofit organization that is supported by the city, but really populated by the business community within the district. The state designation program is currently undergoing reform with a lot of the different future land use maps, Act 250 exemptions, a whole kind of world of restructuring of all of that. So there's a lot of different, if we were to figure out how to just start and pick this up today, I think it would be helpful to have somebody that can help us sort of think through that. Also, from a very big picture, we've been focused on revenue and trying to figure out how to really think on ways to increase the grand list that is not on the residential side of the grand list. So that is a very big picture goal of attempting and working on trying to get an economic development program in place. So RFP is drafted here. It is more on the open-ended side than being very, very specific on deliverables, because I really am curious what folks would come to the table and say would be the best way to figure this out.
I'm going to start with my only comment is I'd like to see the timeline pushed up. And the only reason I say that is because you've got no later than December of 2026. And I think it's going to be kind of essential for budget conversations to where we're at. And December seems too late given our new schedule. So I don't know if that means, I mean, you know what your budget, what your process is. So based on that, I think you can choose the date accordingly. But that's the only comment I had. I think this looks good and look forward to seeing some hopefully qualified.
Has the selection committee been, like, do we know who the selection committee will be at?
No.
Okay. My, yeah, that's it.
Tim?
I'm open to suggestions. I got this written.
And it is good, by the way, or-
I guess my only other question is, I wonder if, and I get it's open-ended, so, you know, it doesn't really matter. It strikes me as odd that we, you know, given the consultant qualifications, we could technically get someone with municipal operations experience and no experience in economic development. And again, it's up, the selection committee probably wouldn't do that. That's why I don't know that it matters. That was my only other comment, though.
Okay, well, I will take a look at that section and see if I can.
Yeah, it just says it's like the experience in one or more of the following areas.
Okay.
And all of the areas are super great and relevant. I just think experience in economic development
Should be like
should
a given.
Should be a given.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Must
Helpful.
include, but also.
Yep.
Thank you.
I would love to see at least one counselor on the selection committee, not two. And so I don't want to bring up a sensitive subject, and I wasn't here for the decision. Do we have a firm idea of how do we come to $30,000? Did we just figure, did we do, I don't know
I
this.
thought we had some extra, not extra, but
No, I mean, but do we kind of go out and say, these, because you dropped a number for like an overall giant economic development plan being X amount at the thing. Sure, totally get it. Somebody's done it, we've seen it. Do we know we can't do this for 15 or 20? I guess that's what my thing is, because if, I just don't know, and we don't really have time to kind of go back and forth in a couple rounds. We don't want to make that time, so I'm just curious. I mean, always trying to find a little bit less.
Yeah, I mean, I think we came up with 30,000. I came up with 30,000 just in talking with some colleagues, and then specifically, I did ask a person who may respond to this if that's even remotely in thinking through this like game plan strategy, if that was even remotely right. And the answer was it's possible. It's yes, it's a good number.
Okay. And I realize, they're bidding, so that they might not all hit
right,
28,
Yeah.
like, I get that.
Right.
I was just,
up to.
other than that, I think it's, Bethany's comment, I think is a good one, and I think it looks strong. I am also concerned about time, but we're asking for quite a bit. It feels like at least a 3-month project. So yeah, it's tight.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, maybe we could put a pin number in the budget in hopes that we're somewhere in a ballpark. I'm just gonna plan until the last second.
Well, I mean, I think the thing is this
I don't
is
have
the
a timeline
plan.
in my head. Yeah.
And so the plan is that we need the plan in order to have
Well,
the
no,
numbers.
I get that, I know, I was just thinking,
In order to execute the plan.
Yeah,
we very well may be in a place where regardless of the plan, this is the max we're gonna be able to do, period.
Mm-hmm.
And if they come in over it, that stinks. If they don't, oh, look, we overplanned. I mean, for budgetary reasons. you know.
so at the next meeting, we're gonna have a budget conversation, so it sounds like a great opportunity for that.
So all I'm saying is we may have a really good idea of like
Yeah,
how much leeway we actually have. right?
yeah.
Which is,
Brian, any questions, comments, concerns?
I mean, I think my concern was kind of a little bit on the opposite side of Raj's, is that I am worried that the scope of that we're asking for the RFC and $30,000, or the $30,000 might be too small to get people to bid. But at the end of the day, there's only one way to find out. Let's put it out and see. So I wasn't going to argue with that. Let's do that and see if we get bids and see what people are willing to do for the money we have.
Any other comments? Regina, you got what you need from us?
Yes, I think so. Thank you.
is there a way that we can, feeling like we're in a time crunch, are you gonna put this out before July 1st anyway, or do we have time to bring it back, or do you want a motion that kind of,
There's no more.
There's no motion.
no motion needed, right?
Yeah.
No.
well, I'm just wondering, like, is there a way, you don't want that now, then, you don't need it now.
No,
There's no approval needed.
we're moving forward today so she can put it out as soon as she's ready to put it
Yeah,
out.
so you don't need approval from us at all,
No.
right, regardless, okay, sorry, okay,
But we don't want it, we're not bringing it back, she's gonna put it out there.
perfect. I guess
Because then we're losing
that's a
more
better
time.
question, yes, good.
Okay.
Yeah, if there was a motion, I was just trying to be like, maybe
Oh,
we can
yeah.
make one to keep it going.
Nope, we don't need a
No.
motion, we're all good.
Yeah.
Perfect.
All right, moving on to 5G, Pearl Street Multimodal Project and westbound lane configuration. Chris is in the house.
All right.
Thanks for staying late.
Yes, sorry.
So yes, Chris Ewan, Community Development Director. So the Pearl Street West multimodal improvements have mostly been, the design has already mostly been approved. The only exception is the westbound lane configuration. So as the consultant had drawn up in the scoping study, the number of westbound lanes is reduced to one. So basically, the one lane the single westbound lane that currently exists in the city by the CVE and everything, it would just continue all the way out till shortly before the Susie Wilson Road intersection. There were some concerns about that and the traffic capacity and to move the design process along. Last year in 2025, the city council had approved everything except for this piece. In the meantime, some 3 live tests were done. Oh, it doesn't work so well as a video. It's kind of choppy there. But anyway, this is
Love it.
one of the tests. It's a lot smoother on my computer. We observed, this is supposed to be a time lapse, but just showing that we observed at different locations on 3 different days. June 9th is the most recent one, and June 9th was actually not announced to the public, just to make sure that there was no intentional avoidance of the street. This is what it looked like closer to the Susie Wilson Road intersection. Basically, for the most part, traffic was moving, but it was slower. We are fortunate to have access to data. So this is INRIX probe data. This uses phones and connected cars, and every time those cars are moving, it sends a signal to some satellite somewhere, and we have access to that data to see the average speeds and travel times at every day, any time of the year as well. So We know that on August 12th, which was where there was some repaving being done in the westbound direction, traffic did get really bad, and that was associated with the lane reduction, but it was reduction in a different way. We found that compared to the baseline, these test days were a little bit slower, but not that much slower. And part of the slowness was actually because people were driving at lower speeds. So CCRPC helped put out some automated traffic recorders, those tubes, for the latest test, just to confirm that the test day had similar volumes to the baseline days. And yes, that was true. And they also found that the median speed and 85th percentile speeds were reduced. So yeah, I think the question here, the trade-off is kind of discussed in the memo. I'm happy to take any questions. And
We have just a white screen.
yeah, there's
Chris,
nothing to show here.
Okay.
I have extra slides of other things in case it's needed, but I will close it right now.
Could you, sorry, could you bring it back up?
Yep.
Could you just go back to the initial layout of the design, just so we can orient folks as a reminder?
Sure. Here you go.
Okay, so,
No, I see.
Susie Wilson Road, this lane stays 2, drops down to 1. The bus stop is in about the midway through here. So it does bottleneck if the bus stops, which won't be that often. And then there's a pedestrian crossing over the median to the other side of the road. Then it opens up back to 2 lanes again, so folks can go right on West Street extension.
And that's the eastbound direction that Regina's talking about, and that has already been decided by the city council.
Can you remind us about the time frame, the timetable for the eastbound? Is there any time frame for when we were actually, it's been approved, the bus portion and all that stuff has been approved, so is there a potential time frame of when that might be happening?
We are waiting for a final decision on this
On
whole
this thing,
project
okay.
before we're moving it forward.
Okay,
From us?
Yes.
okay.
Can you point out, sorry, where oh, you're not done yet, sorry, go ahead.
So then the westbound direction, West Street Extension, this essentially, the one alternative is that it goes to 1 lane of traffic, 1 in the curb bike lane.
Here, I'll
Plus-
just, this one's a little bit,
Thanks.
Oh, thank you.
Awesome.
Incredible.
In the road bike lane, then the separated shared use path, where the sidewalk is now. The other alternative is to remain 2 travel lanes in the eastbound direction.
westbound.
Sorry, thank
Yeah.
you.
Can you
It's like
go-
impossible.
Can you go back a slide and point out to me where the bike lane westbound would end when the 2 lanes come back into play before Susie Wilson, and how that merge happens? I think I can see it.
See it right above the 30-mile-an-hour.
Yep.
line where
Yeah.
Debrief
So
back in.
what's that
there.
experience like?
So the bikes go up onto the shared use path.
Yeah, it goes up on the shared use path there, and unfortunately, that's all. We're a little more constrained on the shared use path there as well. It goes down to 8 feet around there, but that's the rest of it is 10 feet in width.
And we
Yeah.
can't, there's no way to kind of take some of the median on the left when the cars double up again.
Well, I mean that would cost money that
There's
is-
no
that
road,
isn't
We
available.
have no problem with that.
there's no road bed under that, I think we were told, right? So it's just dirt,
Okay,
and
just a
then so
question.
the whole thing would
That's
have
not
to
why we're
be.
here. Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought it was a really I appreciate all the tests. I appreciate your report out. Thought it was well thought out. There's a lot of detail. I think some key points for me was, generally there's the distance with the 1 lane, distance and time traveled was about 12 seconds. The discussion around capacity and bottlenecks was interesting. Kind of said to me that the 1 lane wasn't as dramatic as I think people imagine it to be. And the two-lane transition looks to be about as far back as the 2017 or 2018 concept envisioned as well in those traffic studies, when they, even with the median out, there was going to have to be 2 lanes approaching Susie Wilson at some point.
Yes.
And I think around 245 Pearl is kind of where, even back then, they were thinking it would have to go back to. And just basically, yeah, in short, the single lane slowed traffic down without choking it. And I appreciate having gone through there without any notice that day. It was interesting. Didn't take much longer. The light at Susie Wilson during rush hour it was one light cycle for me. But the data and the traffic slowing, I think, will encourage more people to be on the road, on their bikes. And I think the shared use path really should be separate from the actual commuter on-road facility for bikers, because especially now with the amount of e-bikes we're seeing.
It's not always safe.
Yeah, you're gonna have strollers, walkers, bikers, uncomfortable road bikers, commuters, bi-directional on a 10 to 8 foot path, and then having commuter cyclists trying to go through there at speed. It's gonna be kind of dangerous. They're gonna be congested. The only other question I have is GMT open? Are they gonna put a covered bus stop on that eastbound lane? Is it gonna be covered?
They said probably not. It's not going to be a high priority location for them. In some ways, that is not likely to matter very much, because we expect that stop will more be used for drop-offs more than pickups.
Oh, that's true. On the way in, it's gonna be more drop-off. You're right. Yep. Because at the end of the run.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Can I ask a clarifying question?
Yes.
Because the $960,000 that is associated with this project, is that funds that are specific to this type of project? In other words, we're going to be having a conversation soon about rolling stock that's short, and a phosphorus infill project that needs to happen at Hiawatha, and a force main project that needs to happen on Pearl Street. So I'm wondering if this is a separate bucket of funds, or if we're, as nice as it would be, prioritizing in a weird globe of sorts.
So, it is a capital project. It is a general fund capital project. So the funds used for it are not necessarily the same bucket of funds that we would use for, certainly not a utility capital project. So water, sanitation, wastewater collection. The rolling stock fund is also funded by general fund dollars. We transfer those funds from the general fund to the rolling stock as a separate line, then we transfer general fund dollars to the capital planning projects. All that said, I don't know that it is, I think it is possible for the council to amend the capital plan if they wanted to do that.
I would just say that this kind of work that's being done in this lane, in this area, is something that's been talked about for well over 10 years.
Sure, I don't.
Work done with multiple plans is a named top 3 priority for the community and what they're looking for.
And I don't disagree with any of that, but
No, I'm just-
knowing that we're essentially going to have a very difficult conversation about how to fix the rolling stock, and knowing that it's short for the next number of years, I'm wondering if this is the right
I think that's
time but and I know that this can't divulge into a greater conversation about that, but I think it needs to be at the front of everyone's mind, because short of figuring out a way to reallocate funds to shore that fund up, which is drastically short, I'm wondering if this is the right time for this project.
Can I ask, are you talking about the multimodal
The
as a
Whole
whole?
project.
Okay, that's what I,
the whole $960,000 equates to basically a fire truck.
So are you trying to bring up? I'm gonna leave.
Or
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave that question right
I'm
out.
gonna, Brian, do you
That's
have
getting
any,
into a spot.
do you have any questions, comments about the proposal that Chris has on the table?
No, not really. I just wanted to say and that I was mostly concerned about it validating my priors, because what I know and understand is that narrower roads lead to slower traffic, I did not expect there to be a massive impact, and I think that the data shows that out. We just got through with our in our retreat, and we talked about how focus on making the city more walkable and cyclable as one of our priorities. So I think that it's important that we do go forward with this. Yeah, and I will say what I've said every time we brought this up, that if we find out that that going to one lane is a challenge, it's easy to fix because it's just paint.
Bethany, do you have any questions, comments, concerns?
no.
I will, to Brian's point about the importance of biking and walking, I will also say support of GMT is on that list in the retreat. And the one method of continuing to help support the bus system is to make it more easily accessible for more people to use. And this is a pretty big section of the community. It does include the town as well, not just our residents who would use this bus stop, but it's a pretty big help, I think, for folks who use the bus in that area.
Only question I'm gonna ask before I open it to public comment is, I know you guys didn't give an opinion, I'll ask both of you respectively, whether you would proceed with this project at this time and as designed tonight, as presented tonight. Because you didn't give an opinion in your memo as to whether you said we should go forward or not.
So you're talking about the project as a whole?
I'm talking about the project as I'm talking most specifically about the reducing it to one lane, but then also, yes, knowing the challenges that we are facing, would you suggest that we still move forward with $1 million project?
So, yes, so for the first piece, I would mildly recommend to do so, but I do really think both will work. And for most cyclists, if there's a shared use path there, they will use it most of the time. So it's really, I think it's more about the comfort of pedestrians. In terms of the project as a whole, absolutely, I recommend moving forward with this. We here in the community development departments, in our public engagements, we hear a lot of complaints about this stretch of road specifically. It's a regional connection. It's also aligns with the long-range vision for the connected junction plan. So that's what I would say.
Thanks. Regina?
I would say the one lane, I think, is a good idea. I think it's, if it fails, it's a very easy fix to go back on. It's just paint. And it can still function as 2 lanes leaving the city for the 10 days of the fair or other big events. So I think it's a good plan because it hits multiple goals. Those pedestrians coming across from the bus will only have 1 lane of traffic to cross, which I think is important. And it also will help slow people down, which we have heard quite a bit from folks about that. I certainly appreciate the challenge with spending $1 million on this project. I'm inclined to say yes, because it's the process that we follow. This project got to the top of the list for the capital committee and was funded as such, and so that's why we moved it forward. It also has just been sitting around for quite a while, since 2018, under the different alternative, which we know we just will never, ever be able to fund. But a lot of work has thus far gone into figuring out how we can make this work to achieve the goals with the amount of money in the capital plan for it. So I struggle with making sort of an off-time decision like this. Because I'm also not sure I could tell you today that if I had $1 million, rolling stock would be the most important place to put it. It's hard to make that choice without going through the full budgeting process and figuring out what's the most important. So,
I can appreciate that.
yes.
Thank
I
you.
would say move it forward.
Okay. All right, I'm going to open up to public comment. Marcus?
Thanks. Hopefully, my background isn't bothering you too much, but I do want to acknowledge a couple of things. First off, Tim, thank you for bringing up the other recent expenditures that have kind of come up and become more, I think, bigger issues than that were in the past when we talked about these things. And I think that for right now, as looking at this particular project and thinking about the other things, I think it's okay for the council, because right now, obviously, talking about the rolling stock is not on the agenda, so talking about it, you can't get into it. But I think it's okay for the council to take a pause on this so that you can have a deeper discussion about prioritizing and talk about this and the rolling stock and the other items that are in that list that have come up now that need coverage from a monetary standpoint, and have the council decide as to what they think is the priority list. In the short term, the council could have a discussion about the speed limit and make a quick change to the speed limit down there, making a fast, quick adjustment. I do think about this project, and I wasn't a fan of it before. I'm still not a fan of having 2 bike lanes, essentially, because you'll have the multimodal path along with the bike lanes. I don't think that's necessary. I would rather see that other lane turn into a safe pull-off point for buses in the future. And I realize that in order to do that too, that might actually raise the price tag on this to do it right. But I think to do it right, to make sure that the future development has what they need to access and use public transportation. Otherwise, we continue down the path of public transportation disappearing. We have to figure out how we're going to accommodate the influx, but at the same time, we appear to have the pulse of whether or not the bus stays or goes, because we have to get people to use it. The other thing is, as you think about that path, I know that there were places where that path ends up getting narrowed. And this is why I think in order to make this really work, we shouldn't narrow that path. I get why it's being done, but to do it right, that path should be streamlined and comfortable for both walkers and riders. So therefore, we need to maintain that width throughout. And to do that right, I think there just should be some further consideration there. But this is not an emergency project either. So I know that the council, when I was on it, said, hey, this is something we want to do. And based on all the other things we were doing, I totally understand why I came to the top of the list. But I think right now there's another opportunity here. Maybe the council needs to pause, have a larger discussion, and then come back and move forward there and there. So I would like the council to take that break, have a deep discussion at the next meeting or a future meeting, and then move on from there. But look, I do appreciate the testing that community development did on this. I really appreciate the data they shared. So it really helps to kind of understand the impact of that much better. So Chris, thank you to you and the rest of the team for the work that you did on this.
Thanks, Marcus. Any other public comment? I am not seeing any other hands, so I'm going to bring it back to the council. Are there any other comments before I will entertain a motion?
I guess I'd just say that we're about to have some apartments built, more apartments built in that stretch. It is a dead zone for this. I know plenty of people that try to commute through there and use it. Green Mountain Transit was a good point, Regina. I think getting their stick figures up, getting their ridership up on that, proving that the community's putting the riders on that bus will get us more coverage in the long run, not less. I realize the monetary issues we're up against, but this is a community priority, I think. And we have to start. I worry that this will sit for 2 to 3 more years because the conversation we really need to have and the thought process we really need to get our heads around is if we're really going to do the housing growth and the apartments and all the buildings we're saying we want to do, this is what it comes with. And if that's too expensive, if those buildings aren't going to bring the grand list growth, a $100 million building doesn't really impact a $3 billion grand list that much. So how is all this building and all the services it's going to require and all the GMT coverage and everything else that goes with it, and the increase in rescue and the fire trucks and everything we need, is that really sustainable? Right now, we have all these projects coming online. We have people right now who need this service, and it's been identified as a priority for the community. So I'm saying it for us, but I'm also saying it for folks that are listening, that this is a lot of money, but it's a project that's been in the works for an awful long time, and it's been a need that's been identified for an awful long time. And I think I'm a little nervous about it too, but I think we can make it work.
Do you want to?
I'll make a motion.
Okay.
If nobody else has anything else.
Go ahead. It's a choice.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see which one it is. Do I do the right one? I move the City Council direct staff to proceed with final design and implementation of the Pearl Street multimodal improvements using a single westbound lane as proposed in the 2025 scoping study.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Nays?
No.
No.
Okay. So that motion passes 3-2.
Point of order, we need to roll call because I'm online.
Oh, yep, I can do that. Brian?
Aye.
Raj?
Aye.
Bethany?
No.
Tim?
No.
Amber? Yay. Okay. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate it. Okay. Next is, we have an executive session, so I will entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Council member comments? City manager report? Regina?
Thank you, Chris.
I don't think I have anything.
That's okay. Counselor?
BMW's first gathering at the fairgrounds, I think, went really well.
Yep.
Appreciate that.
Sounded like a great time.
Beautiful motorcycle.
We won't be back, so I'll remind people of the July 4th.
We will be back.
Oh, well,
but
yeah,
oh,
but
we
not
won't be back
before,
for the 4th. Yeah, okay.
before the 4th of July festivities at the fairgrounds this year with the EJRP. I think I saw that they were kicking off 6:30, something around there. So anyway, it's always a great community event. We'll hope for good weather, warm weather, dry weather, the way we're going this year. But it should be a fantastic time as always, so hope to see you there.
6 to 9:30.
Perfect.
Cool. Anybody else? All right, so who wants to read motions?
Trying to find it.
I will. Can find it.
Yeah, he's trying to find it.
Page 4 of the packet, I think.
Also, just confirming, you did the consent?
Yes, we're good.
Okay, great. It's page 4.
Yeah, I have it if you don't.
Yeah. you go.
I move that the city council enter into executive session to discuss appointment of public officials pursuant to 1 VSA 313A3 to include the city manager.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, it's unanimous.
There's
There's another
mo-
one, yep.
Page 75.
75. Let's see if we can get there real quick. It's nicer together. I move the city council, I move that the city council make the specific finding that premature disclosure of contractual matters would place the city at substantial disadvantage. I move that the city council enter into executive session to discuss a contract pursuant to 1 VSA 313A1A to include the city council and city manager.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we will be back. Bethany, take it away.
I make a motion to appoint Corey Riemensberger to fill the vacant position as Brownell Library trustee until the 2027 annual meeting. Should I read all of them?
Yep.
I make a motion to appoint Amanda Svensson as a member and John Alden as an alternate to the Development Review Board for a 3-year term ending June 30th, 2029.
And Susan.
And Susan Swager, thank you. And Susan Swager also. I make a motion to appoint Amanda Svensson and John Alden and Susan Swager
You're good.
to the Development Review Board. I make a motion to appoint Susie McGovern to the Recreation Committee for a 2-year term ending June 30th, 2028. I make a motion to appoint Amber Thibault as the council representative to the Capital Review Committee for a 3-year term ending June 30th, 2029.
Friendly amendment, just to make clear for the recording
DRB.
secretary.
Yep.
Susan and John as alternates.
As alternate, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. No, Raj got it.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
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 All right, it's unanimous. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.